Standing by. The Terry and Ted podcast is sponsored by Jaguar Land Rover Laval. Get out of the big city and experience a construction zone free test drive. There is such a thing.
It looks like it's time for another mini podcast, Ted.
This is our last one before we're back in the studio. So this time next week, we'll be wearing pants.
Is that a shadow or a stain on my shirt?
I don't know.
That's trouble with the retired guys, eh?
Well, I know you're all hepped up on the windshield washer there. Show people what you're drinking.
Yeah, I got my Star Trek juice.
You know what? Let's call it a shadow. It's a shadow. It's not.
It's a shadow. I put this on clean this morning. You can see I'm clean shaven and clean shaven, clean shaved, clean shaven.
Clean shaven.
Yeah, and freshly showered from the
freshly showering,
which is a daily showering is not always on the schedule when you're a retired guy like me. So it's all good.
Can it be when we're in the studio?
Yes, I will be sparkling clean. And by the way, I have chosen with my wife. My wife just says, you are taking shirts. You're to change your shirt every podcast.
That's
so
true.
There'll be a clean shirt on every podcast in season 2.
Last time around we wore the same shirts for like 2 or 3 in a row, didn't we?
Yeah.
When you record on the same day.
Yes, sir. We're who does that? We were talking about this the other night. We were dialing around and we stopped on Wheel of Fortune. And we were saying, Pat Sajak's been doing that for 6,600 years. Yeah. And, I thought to myself, I wonder how he did it. And then I went, oh, yeah, he works 3 months a year and gets $20 million. That's how he does it.
Wow. I think a lot of those game shows knock off several in a day, don't they?
They do. Some do 5 episodes, some do 10 episodes in a day.
Wow.
So I know for a fact, a good friend of ours who works in Los Angeles, who covets that kind of job and has a pretty good job of his own right now, told me that Pat works, I think, about 3 months a year, if I recall properly, has a pied-à-terre in Los Angeles where he keeps all his suits and lives most of the year on a giant farm he bought, I think, just outside of Maryland.
Wow.
So he doesn't really have to. He doesn't have, it's not a 9-to-5 gig. It's a great gig.
Do you follow him on Twitter?
I do.
He's very funny and he seems very down to earth.
Yeah, very much so. And I think that's part of his charm, and I think that's part of his success. He seems like the kind of guy you would love to have a beer with.
Yep.
Yeah. So why was I telling you that story?
We were talking about getting back in the studio and wearing different shirts.
Yeah, and we record a couple of sometimes 2-3 episodes a day. So that's why we're doing that. And we're here to do a mini pod, as we call them. Just talk about a couple of things, catch up and get our chat and chops together as we get ready to head into the studio for season 2.
I thought maybe today we could talk a little bit about Wordle.
Yes.
Because it's taking the internet by storm. Do you play?
I do not. My wife plays every single day. I haven't asked my mom because my mom she's a big fan of word games. And she says it helps keep her sharp. And at 86, she just celebrated her 86th birthday. I'm sure it does. But no. Yeah. Thank you, Ted. I'll pass that along. And I have not done it. Can you explain it to me? Because I know you, for as long as I've known you, every day during the request hour, you would have the crossword with you.
Yeah, I've always liked doing crossword puzzles, and Wordle is an absolute addiction. It doesn't take nearly as long as a crossword, but I find it's more addictive. I have a friend who tells me that she lies awake in the middle of the night for 2 hours staring at the ceiling, thinking about what words she's going to guess on Wordle the next morning. And it's crazy business. It's a very simple concept. Can you bring up those pictures? It's you have to guess a 5-letter word. You start from scratch. You get 6 guesses. And with each guess, if you get any of the letters right, If you get the right letter in the right position in the word, it'll show you that in a green square. If you get the right letter in, but not in the right position, you get like, I guess, a brownish yellow square. Now look at the one on the left.
Okay, hold on a second now. Have I done this right?
You've done this right. Yeah.
Can you see those pictures?
I can see them. Can you?
I can't.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know how I did that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were, while I was freaking out about the technical thing, you tell me, so you start with a word that you choose. So what if you choose the wrong word? What if it is an axiom? What if you type up axiom and it is an axiom?
I typed in axiom this morning and it was completely wrong. I didn't have any of the right letters. So all of the squares are gray. So now all 5 of those letters are eliminated.
Okay.
So then I typed in as my second word, egest. Why I picked that, I don't know. I do know why, because I needed something with an E, because A, I, and O were eliminated. So what vowels do I have left? I've got E and U.
Sir?
Yes?
What is egest?
Egest is when you, like, if you expel something from, for example, if you barf, I think you're egesting something.
So if
it's the opposite of digest.
Okay, so I could egest a fur ball.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Sir. So I knew it started with E, right? Because the E is green. So that letter's in the right place. I know that there's another E, but that it's in the wrong place.
Okay.
So through the process of elimination and pure shithouse luck, I guessed elder with my third guess, and I guessed right. That was the word.
Okay.
So now, go ahead.
So what happens after elder goes in? Is it over?
It's over, and you and then you post it on Twitter so that everyone will think you're smart. Yeah.
Okay, so this picture that I'm looking at, the first picture with axiom and egest and elder, that's your Wordle of the day, and that shows me it took you 3 tries.
Yeah, and 3 tries is good. 3 tries is probably like a birdie in golf.
All right. Okay.
Yeah. Gotcha. Now, if you look at the one on the right,
yes,
this absolutely destroyed my self-esteem and almost made me drink again. Because this is the only one so far that I was not able to guess in the allotted 6 guesses.
Okay.
And as you can see, I started with alien. I try to start with words that have 3 vowels, because you know there are going to be vowels in the words. And if you can fit 3 different ones in there, you're probably going to have some luck.
Okay.
So right out of the gate, I got 2 of the right letters. And then in my second guess, I managed to get them in the right order. But then I just guessed wrong the rest of the way down. And I made one crucial error. If you see in the third word, I guessed quilt.
Yep.
T was eliminated because T is in gray.
Yep.
And then, like a fucking dummy, in my 5th guess, I guessed still.
Okay.
T, even though it's already eliminated.
Right. I've seen that.
The answer was skill, by the way, of which I displayed none that particular day.
Okay. I've seen that happen on Wheel of Fortune, where the contestants pick a letter that's already been eliminated. So that happens. And so basically you're staring at squares, like blank squares.
Well, you're staring at blank squares, but you're also looking at the keyboard, for lack of a better term, at the bottom, and you're seeing which letters have been eliminated and which ones remain. So it's a combination of calculation and process of elimination.
But when you start, all you have is a blank screen, 5 blank squares.
Yeah, a blank screen with like 6 rows of 5 blank squares. You get 6 guesses in total.
So you get nothing else.
No. Wow. You get 6 guesses, and the best I've done is I got one in 2 last week. Got one in 2 guesses, and again, that was pretty much pure shithouse luck.
This is really interesting to me because like all those other ideas that you wished you would have had, New York Times bought this for 7 figures.
And you know what? I hope that the guy has some kind of what do they call those clauses where anything beyond like he still gets 2% of whatever else.
A royalty.
Yeah. I hope he has that because that thing is it's taken off like crazy.
Yeah. It really. Well, I being a regular Twitter user, I kept seeing people, putting Wordle and then a 2 and a slash and a 200 or what does that mean? If you see that on Twitter, what does that mean?
I think the 200 and something is I don't know, to be honest with you. I think maybe that's like it's the 215th Wordle that there's been.
And it appears every morning. Now, is there spoilers? If, for example, me on the West Coast, if I'm up 9 o'clock Pacific time, it's already noon your time. If you've done Wordle and solved it, can you spoil it for everybody?
I could, yeah, but boy, would I ever be a fucking arsehole if I did that. And people would not I haven't seen anyone do that yet.
Okay. All right.
And that's why when you see scores posted on social media, you never see the letters, right?
Nobody goes, the word's alien.
Yeah. It's like, that would be like, you're watching, some miniseries and or TV series. And well, at the end, they all die.
Well, it's, and I've told you this story, I know 1,000 times. It's one of my buddy Steve Anthony's favorite stories. At the height of his fame, when he was a Much Music VJ, he came out of a theater at the 7 o'clock showing and saw there was a big line for the 9 o'clock showing. I don't remember the movie. And he came out and somebody went, "Hey, there's Steve Anthony." He went, "Everybody dies."
Well, as long as everybody didn't die, that's a good gag.
Yeah, it is a good gag. Yeah.
Funny. I can remember years ago, back in the days of VHS machines, the New York Giants, my favorite football team, were playing a playoff game against San Francisco. And I had to do something. I had some kind of a commitment that I couldn't watch the game, so I taped it. And I got home, and Elliot Price, longtime Montreal sportscaster, called me up and, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm just sitting down to watch the Giants playoff game. I taped it. I didn't see it. Don't tell me what happens." He goes, "Okay, but you're going to be wasting your time." You motherfucker. And I've been mad at him. That was 30 years ago, and I'm still mad at him about that.
Not going to let that one go.
No, sir. No.
I don't know how long we've been talking, but we like to keep these ones fairly short, don't we, Ted?
We do. I would just like to add that there's also a French Wordle game. I was challenged to do that, but if it's not esti, calice, or merde, chances are that's pretty much the extent of my knowledge of 5-letter French words. Although, you know what? It would probably be good practice.
It would be. It would be very good practice. You could use some of our favorite sayings. Some of our favorite sayings. Suivant next. Bouge si. That's a favorite one these days in Montreal in traffic, eh?
Yeah.
Don't bouge.
Is bouge a 5-letter word?
Bouge. Yeah, there you go. So,
well, you know what? Maybe I will give it a shot.
That is really something. I don't know how long Wordle's been around, but I think it's been mere weeks, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, I've only been playing it for maybe a month at the most, I think.
Yeah, it's really quite a story. Really quite a story.
Software engineer, I think down in the States somewhere came up with it. His name is Wordle.
Yeah. And and that's how he came up with Wordle.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
it goes to show you, the simplest ideas, man. The simplest ideas.
Not too shabby that you attracted the attention of the New York Times.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah. Okay. Is that our little mini episode today on Wordle? It's certainly topical.
It's very topical. I think we've done well here today. I think that if we had a program director, he'd be pleased.
All righty. Alors, c'est tout pour cette podcast-là.
Is that your Côte d'Azur accent or your Ile-de-France accent?
I just want to quickly, when you say Ile-de-France, I just want to quickly, people who went to Vermont a long time ago will remember in Stowe, one of the best restaurants in the history of the world was there, and it was called Ile-de-France.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that's my little stupid, useless fact of the day for you. So
nice restaurants in Stowe, boy.
Yeah, it's been a while. Have you been to Stowe? I haven't been to Stowe in years.
20 years, probably.
Wow. Bit of a drive for me now, so
just a bit, yeah.
So that'll do for now. I think we'll do another one. No, we won't.
We'll be in the studio next week.
Yes, that's correct. We will. We'll be in the studio next week. And I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait to see you, Mr. Bird.
And you, sir.
And we've lined up some guests. We're going to have some fun. We'll tell you all about it in weeks to come on your social media channels.
Standing by, the Terry and Ted podcast is sponsored by Jaguar Land Rover Laval, where the luxury is unmistakably British, but nobody wears a top hat or a monocle.